Alright, hey everybody, Sunset Games here. Just before this video starts, I'd like to say thank you for 200 and I think 20 subscribers now. Really getting somewhere now. Thank you guys, it means a lot. So this is an old computer that I had found in my grandma's basement. It used to be my brother's, and I asked him, hey, can I take this and clean this up and see how well it performs in games and stuff. The benchmarks will be a separate video, but basically first we start out taking the GPU out. This is the time lapse here. Take out the back fan, and then the power supply goes out. The stuff in here wasn't that dirty. I tried taking out this little hard drive hot swap thing, and then I tried taking the motherboard out, but I was having difficulties taking them both out because I couldn't get the hot swap thing off, as you can see here. And then I tried the motherboard, but I couldn't get the screw under the hot swap. I pulled the whole entire CPU out trying to get the cooler off. Then I dusted off everything with my dust blaster from the dollar store. And thermal paste was, well, not that bad actually. There was a lot applied, but it was kind of old and a bit crunchy. And then here's the graphics card. So we got 4 screws. There's like, I think there's 7 screws, but there's 2 on the sides, and then I mentioned 3 more at the back here. But I don't even need to unscrew those because that unscrews the fan inside. This is a blower style graphics card. I believe it is I have to check on that. I forgot what the card was called. I'll put it in the description. And then it wasn't actually that bad. The shroud was probably the worst, so you just clean it up with the microfiber cloth. The back wasn't that bad. Yeah, see, I cleaned it off right here. This is my first voiceover, by the way, so I'm new to this. I'm trying to explain things good here. Yeah, it's not that bad. It's just the fan or whatever is a bit more dusty than everything else. Do a thorough clean here. I want to get into those edges there that are quite packed with dust. Alright, and then once we have that done, it actually doesn't look that bad. I'm surprised the plastic is still so good. I go ahead and spray this off now. You can see the dust flying from my camera. And this wasn't actually that bad, but it was like about the same as the other thing. I pulled off the back screws, I think. Yep, there we go. Pulled them off. And some of the thermal pads broke for the memory chips. Like, just broke in half, as you can see right here. I'm trying to put this one back on, and it's quite difficult to put back on. But I managed to get it on. I don't really have any extra replacement ones or anything lying around, so I don't even know where you'd get these for that exact type of chip or whatever, because you can't get the one that's too big. But even the thermal paste on the graphics card wasn't that bad. I reapplied. As you can see, one of them just broke right in half. The other one was still on there. A few that was on there. Then I went ahead and cleaned this off camera, I think. Oh, there we go. Now just some alcohol in a little container, put it on a microfiber cloth. I've tried paper towel and toilet paper, but they both leave like well, like toilet paper little strands behind and towel strands behind. It's whatever. The microfiber cloth is the best because it picks up all the stuff. After that, it actually looks really good. It's nice and clean. Got my graphics card to clean off still, so I put some more on here. And this I had to be really careful with because there was little, I think, resistors on the chip, or, well, next to the chip. So I couldn't actually get all of it. And I didn't have any Q-tips with me. So I had to just do with the microfiber towel. And it did a pretty good job, actually. You could actually see the engraving on there saying what it was. I don't know if my camera picks it up or not. Camera's pretty good, but still really small writing. The back there was not that bad. That bracket, not that dusty at all. I mean, I don't see why the dust would get on it anyways. And under the cooler, there's basically no dust at all. Got my thermal paste here, applying a bit of that on. Just generic thermal paste. I don't have anything fancy. I used up my other thermal paste. Grab the cooler, put that back on. Gotta be careful with this. You don't want to rub the cooler up there too much. Make sure it falls in the back there. There's like little tiny holes inside the PCB that it's actually gonna fall into. It's not just laid on there. Screw my screws back on. Screw one screw, and then I think I do one diagonal. Yep. And then again another one, and then another one. Tightening down them in increments so that's evenly distributed the thermal paste. And then once that was on, just make sure they were all tight. Don't want to do them too tight though that it strips the mounting. And then put that back on. Got to plug in the fan connector first. You want to make sure you got cool air going through it. And then I noticed some more dust inside the fan connector. Just wanted to blow that off. Then once the sort of shroud thing is on top, but the card actually looks pretty nice. The fact that, I mean, the card's not like the PCB is not black, but it doesn't look that bad. The plastic on there does show a bit of fingerprints, but I wiped that off after. Then I applied some thermal paste here. I made sure it was evenly on, put the cooler back on. The fan, I think I mounted incorrectly, and then, well, the wire on that is so long. Graphics card was mounted and then plugged in, and right at this shot here, I accidentally forgot to plug in the CPU connector. So basically how that went is I turned on the computer, and well, you know what to expect. Clean the top off here because it was a bit dusty. It's probably gonna get dusty again because it's currently laying on my floor again, because it's not really my main PC, but thought it'd be an interesting video to do. There's like this weird inside container sort of thing in here. I have honestly no clue what this does, because it's not like you can really store anything in it. But if anybody knows, let me know in the comments. I have no idea what you would store in that. There's a little media thing in the front there for like SD cards, and which is pretty useful. There is a CD drive in it too, so here's where I could turn on the computer, and everything looks fine. Saw a bit of copper on the fan there, and I thought it was on fire, or about to be on fire, but then I was like, okay, good, we're good. It's not on fire, just copper. Back fan was still a bit dusty, so I blow that off a bit more. Almost got the thing stuck in the fan. Here, I plugged in the HDMI and everything, nothing was happening. I was wondering what was going on, making sure the HDMI is properly plugged in. My computer right now, if you unplug it, plug it back in, sometimes it just turns on. Both the fans are spinning, so it's like, okay, that's fine. And, well, you know, should have just looked better and plugged in the CPU connector. Then once I plugged in the CPU connector in this shot, you can see I plugged it in now, and the last shot was not plugged in. And the PC boots up, and everything is fine. It takes a minute to boot up because it is it's not really a slow hard drive. It's just hard drives are slow in general. It's a 7200 RPM, I believe. And I like the computer. Even though it's a pre-built, I still like it. It's pretty nice. I played some House Flipper on it. I actually got through like 4 houses on it. And then I think I tried some GTA 5, played that for about half an hour. Runs pretty good. Temperatures at first, when I first checked them, the graphics card was hitting 75, and then I applied the thermal paste as seen on video, and it was good. Ran it. I don't really remember what it ran at. I think it was 67 or something. Alright, see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.